Hey, what's going on there, guys? This is Black Dog Attack here. Today we're going to be doing a video on Destiny, The Rise of Iron, Year 3. For those of you that are new to the game, I know some of you are out there. We call you Kinderguardians because, you know, we are guardians in the sense of we try to save the world from the darkness in the solar system. But today, guys, we're going to be going over, I'm going to be showing you my subclass that I run on my first character that I ever started in Destiny was my Warlock. So, back in year 1, I mean, Destiny was pretty good. It was fun, you know, it was a new experience. But as we've come to progress 3 years later, the game has had its ups and downs. It's had nerfs and it's had buffs, you know. But today we're going to be just going over my subclass where, let's see, I primarily run, I used to run Sunsinger a lot, but Sunsinger's just not doing too well right now. So I'm running Stormcaller, as you'll see on the video when I mix them together. Yeah, I have the Wounded. I'm using the Wounded right now. It's at 399. I do have another one at 390, but for now I'm just going to show you what I'm running. I run Future War Cult. I'm with the faction Future War Cult, so see my tag right there. I'm running Eon Tracer Hood. Actually I'm running the Spliced Red Miasma Gloves for the extra heavy ammo, but I mean I do have the Eon Tracer sleeves. So what else? I have the Eon Tracer Robes at 397. Running Intellect with Discipline. Just to show you my Intellect with Discipline. I have 4 minutes 20-second cooldown on my super. I could easily change that. And my 34-second cooldown on my Discipline. So that's pretty good. And then my Strength, so it's just a melee. That's at 55-second cooldown. However, what I want to get into today is the subclass for the Stormcaller. Stormcaller, there's just something about Stormcaller. It's just, I'd like to say perpetual. No pun intended with the electricity. I'm running Icebreaker here, but I usually run all Future War Cult weapons. I run the Wounded, the Waiting, and the Warpath. Simply because I love Future War Cult. Year 1, my Warlock was New Monarchy, so in year 2 as well. Then in year 3, I said, I might as well switch it up. And now I do have all the faction shaders for the Future War Cult here. They're right here on screen. Let me show you. I do have, I'm running God of War shader right now just because so that I bring it out. I have the Carthage 0100, Babylon 9191, Tyre 4770, and Nineveh 86811. These are the names of the shaders for the Future War Cult. There is other faction shaders that just they weren't as easy to unlock back in year 1, year 2. Year 3, they've been dropping. Actually, I got these in year 2. Year 1, they did not drop as frequently as they did in year 2. So that's a plus. Here's some of my vehicles here. I got a bunch of vehicles. My ships. I actually have a few Future War Cult ship as well. The Road Unraveled. So that's good. My favorite ship is the Fatal Vision. It's just beautiful. Look at that ship. Beautiful. And then my second is Agonart Carve. It's from the Taken King's Fall raid. Yeah. Do you have to do the challenge? I'm not really sure. I'm not too remember. It's been a while. But now let's get into the video why we're doing this. This is the Stormcaller subclass. I'm going to show you what I like to run. For grenades, I like to run pulse grenades simply because usually when there's for pulse grenades I run for PvE, and then for PvP I usually run arc bolts or storm grenade. For the glide, I use Focus Burst. I'm not too big on the balance glide. I like Focus Burst because it's an initial boost of speed as opposed to just it being evenly up and down on the balanced. I like initial bursts. I prefer initial bursts. For your super, you have Storm Trance, which is basically you turn into the Sith Lord or something. Yeah, Landfall, I have Landfall right now because I was just experimenting with it just because I hadn't used it in a while. But I do like to use Superconductor and Ionic Blink. Ionic Blink preferably because you can get away from the enemies a lot much faster and trick them in both PvE and PvP. I like to run for my melee Thunderstrike. I like to, actually all of them are pretty good in the Stormcaller's melee, but I like to use Rising Storm to charge my, I'll show you why I use Rising Storm in a little bit, but for what it does for the melee. It hits with Thunderstrike, charges super ability, and melee energy. Now, charging the super and melee energy is it's going to come in handy later with the other perk later down the line. I'm running, and then all of these here is preferably your preference. But I mean, just it's all about playstyle. I'm not gonna give you tips on these three right here because it's just how you like to play the game. But if you want to use the one I'm running, I run Arcane Force and Pulse Wave, because I use Pulse Wave because when I'm critically wounded, it's mostly for like strikes and raids. Pulse Wave because you're critically wounded and there's some teammates. You know, you get a boost of speed for your whole team or whoever's near you. Feedback's good. Incoming melee attacks fully recharge and intense fire thunder strikes. So that's pretty good. Feedback is not bad. Actually, no, I'm gonna throw feedback on for this video because that comes in handy with this perk right here. And then I also run down here Divine Order, training focus on toughness at all costs. But like I said, it's all your preference. For the final one, I do like to use Electrostatic Mine in PvP, like Clash, Iron Banner game modes, Control. It's perfect because you're always near your team. Arc Web, that one's kind of alright. You combine it with Chain Lightning. But I like to use Perpetual Charge, and that's what I wanted to tell you guys today. That Perpetual Charge. You run the Claws of Ahamkara, and you have Rising Storm, and that's 2 Thunder Strikes, and that's 2 boosts to your super, and melee energy. Considering the fact that we have feedback here, incoming melee attacks, fully recharge and intense fire thunder strike. So you'll constantly be having 2 melees here. And then also with Perpetual Charge, if you're getting grenade kills, making sure you're getting the kill with the grenade, you're definitely, guys, you're going to have your recharge immediately because it's just back and forth. And I will show you some gameplay here in a little bit on how that works. Okay, right here, guys, I'm just doing some really quick gameplay on the mission called The Last Array. I think it's probably, if you're new to Destiny, it'll probably be around one of the first, second, or third mission that you'll play. Possibly even fourth. It's called The Last Array, but it's a pretty fun mission, and there's a lot of enemies toward the end. And this is where I chose this mission so I can showcase the Perpetual Charge Warlock Stormcaller build. Right here, I'm using my weapon just for a little bit, just to get some of these enemies off me. And as you can see, I'm also using the artifact known as Memory of Fellwinter. Now you will lose your super while you have this artifact on, but you also gain 1 extra grenade and melee charge, and a small boost to all stats. Orbs will grant melee and grenade energy as well, which is great. And also when you have the feedback perk, any incoming melees will recharge your melees. So right here I'm going to try and show you how this Perpetual Charge works. I'm just going to use only grenades and melees for the rest of this battle. And make sure, like I said, to pay attention to the bottom left at my grenade and melee charges. They're just constantly recharging themselves over and over. And the key thing to using this perk on your stat tree for the Stormcaller subclass is that you make sure you're actually getting the kill with the grenade. If not, I mean, the perk's not going to activate. So you have to make sure you get that kill. If you have to tag it once with the bullet and then just to be sure, and then throw the grenade and hit them with the melee, go ahead and do it. It will proc the perk all the time, every time, 100%.
There's the controls. I'll see if these codes still work.
Okay, right here we're just going to deploy our ghost. We're going to see... Okay, once this guy's done, we can get onto the good stuff as well as the enemies start spawning. This is actually one of my favorite missions from back in year 1. I always had trouble with it, simply because back in year 1, the game was just all around that much just harder. The number 350 you see on all your, or 400, I think, what was it, like 1783 was the max. But yeah, Destiny's changed a lot since year 1. Okay, here we go, guys. Don't forget to pay attention to the bottom left hand of your screen. So you see my grenade and melee charge just constantly regenerating. Right now they're completely charged at 1 and 2, but I'm going to start using them. Charged up. Grenade. Melee. So I'm going to get the melee kill on this wizard, and it'll give me that full grenade again. Okay, you see how it charged? Okay. So it's foolproof, guys. I mean, it's going to work regardless. Just throw on Perpetual Charge. It works efficiently. even in PvP. I will do a PvP video on it one day. That's just a little bit harder. Okay, we got our... Okay, keep in mind guys, I'm not using any bullets. I'm using just my grenades and melees, along with Perpetual Charge. Okay, I got 2 grenades again. We're down 1 melee. We got 2 melees again. There we go, see? Grenades are charged. 1 grenade's out. I'm gonna go and get a melee kill to get that second grenade back. And see, I got 2 grenades again. Grenade kill, I got 2 melees again. I mean, it's basically, you don't really need this memory of Felwinter. It just helps because you're constantly gonna have it regardless. And it does come in handy. I know earlier in the video when I was going over the subclass nodes, I said to put on Rising Storm. And that's only if you're not going to use the memory of Felwinter, because you do lose your super, so you don't really need Rising Storm. You can choose any one of the other perks. So there you go guys, that was the guide to the Perpetual Charge Stormcaller Warlock Subclass build. Go ahead and use it if you like it, and if not, go ahead and experiment with whatever else you like to do. This is Destiny, play it how you want to play. And right now I just want to take a moment to say thank you to all of my subscribers who have been supporting me this last few months. You guys have really helped me to keep going and continue to do what I like. Thank you for the support, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to drop a like if this video was helpful, and also do not forget to subscribe and share this with your friends. Thank you guys, and thank you to all of my subscribers for keeping the channel going and alive. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Peace, peace.
You have to breathe it in nowadays. You don't just blow it out. I take you to the movie and I treat you like a groupie, and you don't mind. I show you around the town and I dine you with the finest, and it's a great time.